Howdy, Space Rangers, Captain Phoenix here. Today I've got another Botched Script, and yes, you are watching these videos on the same day. Today is Botched Script Sunday. I'm just giving you all my Botched Scripts. So I gave you the one for the Illumination Theory. Today, this is another one right now, and by the time the next video is uploaded, that will be my third Botched Script. So that will be my third and final, well, technically fourth. So that will be my final Botched Script because, like, again, I went digging in my archives to look for videos I wanted to make, and I decided to scrap them. So by the time I upload the next video, that will be So by the time I upload the next video, that will be the last Botched script. That will be wait. So by the time I upload the next video, that will be last Botched script I ever wrote, and you will never hear from me again. No more Botched scripts. Botched scripts. What is wrong with me and my lisps? You guys are gonna make fun of me in the comments, I know. Anyway, so I'm just playing Jedi Fallen Order in the background because I really don't have footage for what I'm about to say. Reason being, today's Botched script isn't really a script in a movie or anything per se. Yeah. Today's Botched script is about the Star Wars Sequel Trilogy. Boo, 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 we were done with that. Stop dragging us to hell, man. Wait, relax, guys, relax. Sequel Trilogy was aight. Are you planning to die soon, boy? Let me explain. Okay, yes, I will admit the sequel trilogy is a watered down version of the original trilogy. Episode 7 was a bit of a disappointment. It was too much like A New Hope, but I still enjoyed it. In fact, if anything, I would watch that movie of A New Hope any day. Come fight me, come at me. And what's this? The Last Jedi, really, it felt like The Empire Strikes Back, except a bit more entertaining. And I honestly really liked the second half of the movie. The Rise of Skywalker, really enjoyed the first two acts, and I really enjoyed the first two acts. It felt like original Star Wars. The only problem is the last act really rubbed me the wrong way. So it seems as if for every high of the sequel trilogy, there's always a low, which is better than the prequel trilogy, if you ask me. The first two movies, at the very least, like The Phantom Menace and Attack of the Clones, were very bad, and Revenge of the Sith is the only saving grace for it. So, yeah, take that what you will. So, after I watched Rise of Skywalker, I began thinking to myself, this sequel trilogy had so much potential. It had so many opportunities and chances to be great again. Why would it do this? What happened to it? So, after being disappointed by the ending of Rise of Skywalker, I kind of took matters into my own hands, and believe it or not, I wrote fan fiction. Yes, me. I wrote fan fiction on Star Wars. So, my fan fiction was based on what would happen if the sequel trilogy went like this, or at least my version of the sequel trilogy. What would have happened if the sequel trilogy was different? And believe you me, I was gonna make a full series on this. I was gonna like put it up video after video, and kind of like just say, oh, Luke did this, Luke did that, but then I realized it was gonna be too much work. And even if after some time my passion faded out, because like the sequel trilogy, everyone like already got mad at it. Everyone did like their own take on it, and fan fiction and such. But yeah, I kind of like wrote my own fan fiction for a bit. I was saying, basically my fan fiction was, what if the sequel trilogy went like this, or what if the sequel trilogy was this instead of this? And so, guys, what you're about to hear, I can't really show you anything because gameplay, but what you're about to hear from me is most probably the worst fan fiction I could ever say, or at the very least, would most likely be the weakest fan fiction you've ever heard in your life. But what you're about to hear from me is just gonna be horrible. So, guys, without further ado, this was not still is, but this was my fan fiction for the sequel trilogy. So, basically, again, I divided into three movies because that's the rule of Star Wars. You gotta have three movies. And so, the first movie, in all honesty, was kind of like the best one to me. It was like the strongest because it's the one that had the most structure in my mind. Whereas the second and third one had a bit of a less structure. So, again, you are going to be hearing some very loose details, and not everything's going to be attached. So, with the first one, it was kind of starting with a TIE fighter flying to Exegol. So we'd see it go through the red cloud haze thing, then it would like hyperdrive and then kind of land on Exegol. So we would see some dude, like you see the second sister here, yeah. So we'd see some dude like that walking in an outfit just like the second sister, walking up to the throne. So as you guys remember in Rise of Skywalker, we had the Emperor's throne, and we had those Sith acolytes around him. So imagine the Emperor's throne was empty, Palpatine wasn't in it. So we see that hooded figure, or at least that masked figure, land their TIE fighter and then walk up to the throne. As they walk up to the throne, they get greeted by that droid. So for those of you who've watched Battlefront 2, you know that Palpatine like put like a voice message in a droid of his. Like it was like a droid that looked like a royal guard, and it had his face on it, and it was a pre-recorded message from Palpatine in the event that he ever died. So that's what's happening here. So yeah, so Palpatine is like so we see that droid come up. We see that royal guard droid come up to the masked figure, and then we see Palpatine be like, "My apprentice, if you are here and are hearing this message, it means that I am dead, or at least have passed away, or something like that. Meaning that you are now the heir to the Empire. Sit on this throne, and you are now the new Emperor." And so basically, the plan was but Palpatine had a backup plan. If in the event he died, Vader would take up his role as Emperor. So Vader would go to Exegol and sit on the throne. And you guys remember that army of spaceships on Exegol? Vader would own that, and he would, just own the Empire. He would own this. He would own the Star Destroyers. He would own the galaxy. Everything. This was in the event that Palpatine died, or at the very least, Vader became powerful enough to the extent that he did not need Palpatine to survive anymore. So yeah, that was what Palpatine's message was about. However, the difference is, since this takes place after Episode 6, mind you, this is my version of Episode 7. This is what Episode 7 could have been. So again, it was a masked figure who landed on Exegol, went to the Emperor's room. This masked figure wasn't Vader, because as you remember at the end of Episode 6, Vader and Palpatine both died. This masked figure, as a matter of fact, was an Inquisitor. Now to me, I named this Inquisitor the Seventh Brother, because he's the only Inquisitor we haven't seen in Star Wars canon, but then I did read up on him and found out he's dead. So I'll call him the 10th Brother, because it's the only other Inquisitor I don't know about. So we'll call this Inquisitor the 10th Brother. So he's the last of the surviving Inquisitors. All the others were killed by Jedi and rebels and whatever. So he's the last of the surviving Inquisitors. And so the 10th Brother landed on Exegol. He found out about Vader's plan, that Vader was gonna kill Palpatine at some point and take over the Empire from him. However, after Vader died, the 10th Brother found out what Vader's plans were. After the Empire fell at the Battle of Endor, he took his spaceship, went to Exegol, and decided taking over the Empire. So the 10th Brother sat down on the throne, and at that moment, he was now not really the Emperor, but now he owned Palpatine's army on Exegol. So apparently this army was just waiting on Exegol for Vader to come and get them. Yeah, again, I know the story is very disjointed, but just trust me on this. So again, this story does take place after Episode 6, I would say roughly 5 years after the Battle of Endor, meaning the Empire has already fallen at the Battle of Jakku, and the remaining survivors are hidden in the Outer Rim. So the 10th Brother sits on Palpatine's throne. He gets that army Palpatine gave to him, and he goes to the Outer Rims to recruit the other Imperial soldiers who lost at the Battle of Jakku. They say, "Yo guys, come with me. I have this thing on Exegol. If you come with me to Exegol, we can form an army together, form a new empire, take over the Republic. Let's go do this." And so, yeah, that's kind of like where we have the intro part with the 10th Brother. We now come to the main story with our heroes, where, again, 5 years since the Battle of Endor. So at this point in time, Ben Solo would be about 4 years old. And the galaxy has now formed the New Republic. So with this New Republic, they've banned like weapons and such. So with the new ships that they make, they've removed the guns from those ships. Weapons are prohibited unless you have a license. So yeah, they're trying their best to make sure war isn't a thing here. In fact, even the Navy themselves have very limited weapons. So the New Republic is like, we're just trying to prevent war here. But then they're like, what if we get an attack from another galaxy? Or whatever, it's fine. Leia is obviously not behind this. And she's not allowed to be a senator because apparently something there was a book something she's Vader's daughter, so she's not allowed to be a senator. However, she is allowed to just live that high life and whatnot because she was a general in the army. So she and Han Solo had a son, Ben Solo, who is now training under Luke at the Jedi Academy. So Luke went throughout the galaxy searching for force sensitive beings. He found guys such as Finn and Rey, and all those guys became his students. So he's teaching them at the new Jedi Academy, right? So far, story is so good. And now this is where my story gets a bit hazy, but something happens. Luke fights the 10th brother. then something they have like some sort of air fight over not over Exegol, but over some planet, and that's where the first movie ends. So as you can see, I really didn't flesh it out. I don't know how I was gonna make a series on this. Movie 2 was gonna be um the new empire was gonna like destroy the new republic. So basically the whole movie was gonna be something, and then the climax is the only part I got of the second movie. So the second movie, the climax was gonna be the Jedi are under attack on Act 2. That's where the first Jedi Temple is. That's where the Jedi Academy is. So in Act 2, the Jedi are under attack by the 10th brother and his Inquisitors. And Mara Jade, I forgot, Mara Jade is now a character here. She fights the 10th brother, and Luke is, with... Luke isn't there to help them. In fact, that's the thing. The 10th brother lured Luke away from the temple so that he could send his troopers to go and kill the remaining Jedi Order. So the 10th brother fights Mara Jade. The other Jedi students fight off the stormtroopers. Meanwhile, over the Republic, or at least over the New Republic headquarters, the core planets and such, the new empire decided to start bombing those core planets. So the core planets are being bombed, governors are killed or being captured, and crazy stuff is happening all over the place. So that's what's happening. The core planets are falling down to the new empire. The new empire surprise attacked them, and since Mon Mothma, who's like the what do you call him? What do you call the person who's high? The chancellor. So since Mon Mothma is the supreme chancellor of the galaxy, she banned weapons, right? So now, because of that cancellation of weapons, the new empire came and kind of took the new republic in a landslide. Like they took the new republic so easily. They since there were a few weapons, there was no fight that was put up, and all the governors were being killed. Mon Mothma barely escaped. Leia helped Mon Mothma escape. Oh, Leia was actually in prison because Mon Mothma found out she created her own thing called the Resistance that would help save the galaxy. And because weapons were banned, Leia got put in prison. So again, I don't know what goes on in my mind, but it was weird. But it was a cool story, to say the least. So Leia breaks out of prison, helps Mon Mothma escape. Han Solo comes in. Luke is also at the Battle of the Core Planet. He is in his X-Wing, fighting off the TIE Fighters and the Star Destroyers. Again, the new Empire is bombing the core planets, trying to make the New Republic fall quickly. Which they do. They bomb the new planets. They kill most of the governors. Mon Mothma, Leia, Luke, they all fight at the battle, but they all lose, so they have no choice but to escape. Whereas the Jedi with Mara Jade, they escape off Act 2 and go. So the new empire is rising, and I'm like, what the hell have I written here? Then we have the third movie, where it basically starts off on Tatooine. Luke decided to retreat with his Jedi on Tatooine. So Mara Jade escapes with the Jedi. They get together with Luke, and these guys escape to Tatooine. That's where they're hiding out. So basically the third movie is gonna have like this Mad Max Fury Road to it, where we're gonna see like Luke and the other Jedi on these bikes, on these speeder bikes, racing against these Imperials, like scout troopers and such. So like they kill the scout troopers and they're like, we cannot let these troopers report back to base, otherwise the Empire will know we're hiding on Tatooine. So apparently it's been a couple of months and these guys have been on the run. I was gonna do like a story where Kylo Ren gets turned to the dark side by the 10th brother, but then I realized that is too much to pump into this story. Like, it's too much filler. The story is already full as it is. So that was basically gonna be the opening arc. Then something happens. Then I was gonna have like a love triangle between Finn, Rey, and Kylo. I decided to put that on the side because if it's the last thing we need, it's a love triangle. Something happens, and we get to the climax. Luke fights the 10th brother in like an open grass field. Luke lights fire to the grass, also meaning he burnt the 10th brother. It's like he kind of burns the 10th brother as a whole. Not even the mask saves him. It's like his whole skin is charred and such. And then Luke like holds him like the way Obi-Wan held Maul on Tatooine. Then he's like, yo, buddy, are you okay? Then the 10th brother is like, oh, damn it, I lost. And then he dies. Mara Jade gets thrown off a cliff. So Luke and Mara Jade are married in this universe, and they do have a child. However, during the climax, the dude, the 10th brother, throws Mara Jade off a cliff, and then him and Luke fight. Then Luke lights him on fire. So the 10th brother dies. He goes to check on Mara Jade. She dies, leaving Luke to look after their son. And then that was kind of like how the sequel trilogy ends. The New Republic now starts saying, okay, we can allow weapons. We don't know where the enemy is. However, the Empire has fallen for good. This is more likely like an epilogue trilogy. Like the main stuff happened in the original trilogy, but then all the extra stuff that wasn't utilized there got pushed to the sequel trilogy. And yeah, I guess you would have put an Anakin Force Ghost there if you want to, but this was more like an epilogue trilogy rather than a wrap everything up. It was more like a wrap everything up trilogy rather than like a big climactic trilogy that the sequel trilogy tried to be. Anyways, guys, that was my Botched script. I got way too what's this? I got way too invested in this. I don't know what the hell is wrong with me, but yeah, I got too invested in this story I was telling. I just got sucked in. Even I was enjoying my story a bit, but yeah, no, it's a wonder I did not make a video on this because I do not have enough substance to put to it, and also it was just a crazy story. Though it is funny to think. Do you think that this story would have worked better than that of which we got in the sequel trilogy? By the way, I want to know your comments down below. Do you think my fan fiction would have worked as a better story than what we got in the actual sequel? Do you think my story is better than what we actually got in the sequel trilogy? Do you think it's the story that Disney should have made? Or do you think that my story sucks and anything I make sucks and you all unsubscribe from this channel because my fan fiction is crap? But you tell me your thoughts down below. I'm actually kind of interested. Anyway, guys, one more Botched script video and then you will all be free for my reign of terror. It's okay. Next, I'm doing our top 5 best movies of all time and the top 10 best animated shows of all time. Those are gonna take some time and I love editing, but they are projects I'm excited on. So, hooray! You already know what they are. Anyways, guys, thank you so very much for watching. Be sure to like and subscribe. Thank you for everything. And with that, I will see you in another universe.